Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, and we have, yes, the man himself, Summit1G. I just want to say thank you for coming on to the pod because I've asked you about it and you've made time, and I appreciate it because I know you're busy as shit.
Hey man, hell yeah, pleasure to be here, dude. Thanks for taking some time out for yourself too. You know what I mean? That's what's up.
So I just kind of want to just you are like one of the pioneers in this streaming game. Like I don't think there's anybody that's I've met that haven't hasn't like been growing up watching you and stuff like that. I kind of just want to ask you like how did you even get into it and what made you, cuz it wasn't even Twitch then, right? It was like
It was Justin TV, and I actually didn't even start on Twitch or Justin TV. I started on own three. It was called Owned TV. I used to call it Own 3D, but yeah, some other streamers started there. I remember like Athene started there, Destiny started there were the two people that I remember. And Justin, or I think I'm pretty sure when I was looking, it was Twitch, and it had just gone from Justin TV to Twitch. Um, but yeah, I was on like a different website for like I want to say a couple months, a few months or something like that before I ended up swapping over to Twitch. And yeah, I don't even really remember the transition. It was like right around that time I started here. You know what I mean? So
it was something called Own.
yeah, it's a different like competing website.
Okay. And then I guess the Justin TV just started happening, and then you just said, "Let
I
me
don't
make."
know how I don't know how long Justin TV had gone for, but it had been around for a little bit, and then that was when it transitioned to Twitch. Is when I got
Oh,
when I was
got you.
around when I came around. Yeah, yeah. So it was like right around that time.
So at that point, was you just what was you playing? Like, was you just like what games and stuff was out?
Yeah, I was pure Counter Strike 1.6 player. I it was either World of Warcraft or Counter Strike 1.6, and yeah, man, people used to even ask me like, why do you still play this game? You know what I'm saying? But I was competitive Counter Strike player, so I was like heavy into it. I was going to LAN tournaments, trying to get on pro teams. You know what I mean? Like trying to be the best, I could fucking be at that shit. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's probably the only reason I stream to this day is because of how much I played Counter Strike and how into it I got. I don't think I would have gotten into it otherwise. Because one of the reasons I started streaming because I thought it would be cool to like talk to people and show people that I was a good Counter Strike player. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
thought like it could help my Counter Strike career. In fact, you know what I'm saying? So
which
yeah,
it which it
that was
did,
it.
which it did.
Yeah, when you get a little bit more popping, on the internet, people will give you some chances, you know what I'm saying, right? And they know
Mm.
you when they know you, right? I was already pretty known in the Counter-Strike world when I had gotten started though. I knew early on, or I found out early on that nobody took you serious unless you went to LAN. It's like, oh, you're a good online player, but if you don't show this shit on LAN, nobody gives a fuck. You know what I mean? Was kind of the idea. So then
And
I had to start getting rides to tournaments and stuff.
like you said, land. Like, do you want to explain to like maybe the people who might not know what that is?
Yeah, Atlanta's just it's like playing in real life.
Hmm.
It's like you know, nobody gives a fuck how what I'm doing from my bedroom, you know what I'm saying? I have to show up and be at a tournament in real life to show that I'm not cheating, to show that I have a little bit of clutchness, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's a whole different game on land, to be honest with you.
So you go into these like tournaments and stuff where you like your first couple of tournaments was you going in was it obviously it's a different atmosphere than you being at home.
Oh yeah.
Did
Oh yeah.
like nerves and make an issue in it and on your performance and stuff like that, or was that something that excited you and made you go harder? Like,
It made me nervous. I'm a nervous dude for sure. I had to even ask my dad to drive me like 45 minutes away to go meet these guys I had never played with before, right?
mm.
To go to my first LAN tournament, and it didn't go great. Um, and It was because like I didn't know like some Counter Strike settings back in the day. I don't know if you know what mouse fix is, but there used to be kind of like inherent mouse acceleration back in the day on like all Windows computers. You know what I mean? And you had to actually like get a fix to take it off, right? And I never knew about this. So I've spent my whole like early days of Counter-Strike learning how to play Counter-Strike with mouse acceleration, not ever knowing it, right? And I go to this tournament, and the first thing I realize is that my sensitivity while I'm trying to aim is really fast. But then when I'm trying to turn around, it's going really slow. So it was like a mind fuck, complete mind fuck. And I didn't know how to take this off my computer. So I got smoked. We got smoked at this tournament first round. And then I went home and installed MouseFix and immediately started trying to learn on this stupid shit. And it was annoying.
So the with the mouse fix, did that like, I guess did that made your performance better, or did you have to adjust to that performance now?
You know, I always thought I was a little bit better on mouse acceleration back in the day, but because it made kind of sense to me. It made some sense. It was because it would. Your sensitivity while you were aiming minute adjustments was really slow so that you can make small adjustments very easily. And then when you needed to turn fast, the acceleration would kick in. So you'd be able to 180 while having a slow sensitivity with ease. You know what I mean? Yeah. Nowadays, it's more common for people not to run mouse acceleration and to go raw input, like raw mouse settings and stuff like that, and not to have any acceleration involved at all. So that's kind of like what we're used to now, is kind of like what I had to get used to at that tournament, which is you probably don't even notice it. It's just your mouse doesn't do anything but what you tell it to do. It stays at the, it goes at the speed that you bring it. You know what I mean? It's not being accelerated by any sort of like whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, I got you. So all of this, because I remember you was telling me like you was doing a lot of tournaments, and so you was traveling. I'm assuming you was traveling a lot for someone that doesn't like to travel, right?
No. When I say tournaments, I mean local tournaments. I'm talking
local,
like,
okay.
I'm a kid, you know what I mean? I couldn't even drive yet. So someone on my team had to come pick me up and drive me 20, 30, 40 minutes away to tournaments. And then they drive me, and then after the tournament, they drive me back.
Okay.
And it was just someone different every time, or if I was on the same team for a while, right? We'd have to just come up with a plan, basically. So yeah, because I was the youngster, I didn't drive yet. And we're going to I was like living in Tustin, Irvine area in California. Okay. And they'd be driving me like I said, like 30, 40 minutes away to like places in Anaheim, and they'd be driving, some Upland, California, places like that. I know you might not know all those places.
Yeah, no, but it's good. It's good. So at this point now, would you be saying that now you're playing professionally, or just it's still like a hobby to you?
Counter-Strike's a total hobby to me now. Yeah. I don't even really consider
at that time.
Oh, at that time. Yeah. In 1.6, before I was a streamer, at that time, I was not playing professionally even close. I was still learning the ropes of Counter-Strike completely in the competitive scene. And because I was still going like team to team, right? Yeah. I was like, I'd go to a team as like the worst player, I'd get better than everybody on that team, and I'd go to the next team as like the worst player, and then I'd get better than that. So
team, you was just leveling up.
Yeah. You know how you are as a kid. You like, you get good fast at a video game when you really start to learn the ins and outs. The skill progression is going to showcase itself. You know what I mean? And that's just what you did back in those days. Like the beginning was me having no connections. There's crazy amounts of politics, by the way, in gaming, which. Back in those days, at least, I'm sure now in the Counter-Strike department, it's just lots of politics. Your reputation is a big deal. Do people know you? You know what I mean? What kind of teams have you been on? What do those teammates think of you? How did you part from those teams? You know what I mean? All that matters. You know what I mean? Because it shows a lot of like who you are as a person, what you bring to the table as a teammate, right? So politics and like it really plays a big part.
Almost like a fact check, like a
Yeah. Absolutely, right? You have like a resume. You know what I mean? Like, do you meet these credentials that we need? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when I first got started, it was zero experience, zero connections, and I was just in like these IRC channels. You remember IRC? Your days or no?
I've heard of it, but I wasn't. Yeah.
Not quite those days. Yeah. Okay. IRC was like it's like basically what we use on IRC on GTA. Right? Yeah. It's just like a big ass like chat room, right? You go to different channels. Everyone's got their own channels, right? I would be in these ones called Pound Recruit and Pound Find Clan. I think there may have been one more, but then I'd be in there looking for people be spamming ads in that constantly, bro. We're looking for one teammate. We're looking for this. People be posting like, this is the experience I have. I'm looking for this, right? So then people are like jamming out on their little ads, and I'm like messaging people like, yo, can I try out? People be, you know what I mean, shit like that. I'd be messaging all these people that are adsing up, you know what I mean? Like, we need open experience. Oh, we need IM experience. I had zero fucking experience, so I just be messaging people for, you know, trying to get tryouts and stuff. That's what you did back then. And I used to actually play in like this public server where I knew that competitive players would just chill, and I would go in there and try my fucking ass off like it was like fucking CPL, you know what I mean? And yeah, and I would try to get my name out there in that server. I actually got picked up on a team from that server. This guy was just playing. The dude was asking me, he's like, yo, do you play for a team? I was like, no. He's like, you want to play for my team? It's like, fuck yeah, I do. You know what I mean? So, you know, back then I was like, yeah, I'll try it out with you guys. You know what I mean? Ended up getting on that team, and that was like a big connection because I ended up knowing that guy for like many years throughout my Counter-Strike career, and like went on a bunch of teams with them, played against him, played with him at a bunch of lands, right? Kind of like a good connection to get me into the space, right? But that team had a bunch of cheaters on it and stuff like that, so I had to move on. But yeah, it was still the one guy that was not, and he was like, ended up being like a big figure.
I noticed, you know, even though you like you said, you started young, and like you couldn't drive and whatever, but I noticed that you have, even to today, you have like this type of like focus and this like this ambition, and you know, we call it drive, that's installed in you. Is that always been a driving factor for you, where it's like, yo, I like, your goal is like, I've got to be the best, or like, you know, up there, like, because I notice when you learn things, you learn quick, and then you have like this strategy in your mind, and you just level up.
Yeah, I'm competitive at everything. I can't stand losing at anything. And if I am passionate enough about something, then I will want to be the best at it, right? So that was I was so in love with Counter-Strike that I wanted to be the best at it. And the same thing happened as soon as streaming came down, right? As soon as I even got numbers on stream, I was like, man, this is crazy. As soon as I started even getting competitive in it, and it started to showcase that I could be competitive, that's when I was like, bro, I want to be the best at this, like in everything. So yeah, I just think that's just something fucked up in my brain that I'm
That's
sure other
great.
people share.
That's great. That's great. It's so, you know, you're like, obviously you're doing the Counter-Strike, you're streaming, you're on Justin TV. Like, what was your turning point, or what was the point where you're like, man, this is gonna be my career? Like, was it a certain amount of views you was hitting? Like, you know, I'm not sure, you know, when it transitioned into Twitch, like how that affected stuff, or, you know, like what was your turnover point type?
Yeah, so I when I transitioned from Own to Twitch, I had like, let's say 10 to 20 viewers or something like that. What's up, baby? Need me? Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, you good. You good.
That's the girly. But yeah, so let me get back to it. What's it called?
You had like 20, you said you had 20, 30 viewers?
So when I transitioned, right? And then Counter-Strike 1.6 was just kind of like a casual game that no one really gives a fuck about, right? When it comes to like the big gist of things, people are into League of Legends and whatever the F is going on back then. World of Warcraft is a huge, World of Warcraft and League of Legends were such huge categories when we first came over. Yeah, so I was like a consistent, probably like one of the only consistent with like maybe one or two other guys, guy who was streaming 1.6. I even had the camera up. There was no other there was like I said, me and one other guy that had cameras. Everyone else was no cam. So it was like we kind of had our foot in the door because we were one of the only consistent 1.6 streamers. Okay. So you fast forward a little bit, CSGO comes out. Right. And now Counter-Strike's not the most popular game in the world. Now it has some kind of like niche areas of the country, maybe the world or whatever, right, where they're playing it, right? But it's still pretty small. And so when Counter-Strike Go comes out, I do get an influx of viewers from like something like 20 to 30 people to like let's say 150 to like 250 max, right? It was just kind of like, it kind of popped a little bit, right? Still no, like, there's no like money in streaming at this point. There's nobody like fucking, maybe soda popping, getting like donations. I'm not sure when that was in like relevance to like where I was at that point. But I mean, remember when he was getting like crazy donations from like these I don't even know who they were, but these dudes who love World of Warcraft, you know, a lot. He was getting fucking mad donos, and I don't even think he had a sub button at that point. He was like making money off donations only, I think. If I recall, because Soda would get banned every once in a while and lose his sub button. You know what I'm saying? Back in those days.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then, so, you know, what's funny is then it was kind of the same thing. Me and these other guys, kind of like the only consistent. Well, I mean, there was way more consistency in Counter-Strike Go when it came to people streaming and stuff, right? There was a little bit more eyeballs on it at this point. CSGO came out. There's a little bit of popularity behind it, kind of. But when it really fucking hit is when skins came out. Even when I got bigger, like I had quit CSGO, right, to play War Z. I don't know if you know War Z at all.
Yeah, War Z, yeah.
Yeah, War Z was like a simple Daisy.
Yeah.
It was like it took Daisy's like concept and just simplified it and made it easy. So like coming from like a Counter-Strike background, I was all about the simplicity things, right? So I was like, shit, War Z looks dope. And I started playing it while, like on the offsides or like after Counter-Strike practices were over and stuff like that. Boom, and I'd be playing. And then like, it would be like, it started being like, I'd be playing War Z, and then Counter-Strike practice would start, and I'd be like, "Fuck." You know what I mean? And I never felt like that before, right? So Counter-Strike was always my baby. I loved it every second of it, right? Because I went on like huge stints with it, right? But yeah, I did the whole War Z thing, and that's when I realized it was kind of like a possibility, right? But it was also like I was still working a full-time job and like only streaming when I could. Yeah. Like at nighttime and shit. So War Z comes out, and then I quit my Counter-Strike team to play War Z. And I go from about 250 viewers to like 100, right? But I'm playing the game that I want to play.
You're enjoying it.
Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? There's no money anywhere, right?
Yeah.
We're all just doing it at this point because it's fun. So I didn't care too much about like a little bit of a viewer loss because I'm just chilling. So War Z, there's big dogs in War Z, by the way.
Yeah.
I noticed that there was a guy named an Atomic Penguin and another guy named Yeti Nation. I know these two people specifically because they were the two big dogs in the War Z section when I came over. They're like 1,000 viewers. Let's call it no, not 1,000 viewers. Let's call it, I think they were getting like anywhere from 500 to 1,000 viewers, kind of like give and take on like some of the hype around the game, right? So when I started kind of picking at like just kind of getting the attention of the category, I guess. Me and another guy named Dakotas. Do you know Dakotas? Dakota Z?
Yeah. I remember you've mentioned him a couple of times. I think when we were like talking.
He's a Fortnite guy now.
Yeah.
I know. Me and him started out on War Z together back in those days.
Sick.
And we were both kind of the two guys that were kind of clicking with the community, I guess, on Twitch, right? Because we were the guys that started getting the bigger numbers once the game was out for a little while.
Okay.
So yeah, then I ended up going from like that 100 viewers to like, I don't know, like 800 or something like that. Let's call it, right?
Was that like?
And then,
was that like how long in a couple months span, a year? Like what?
It's hard to say, man. It's all kind of like tough on the time frame wise. I want to say I was playing War Z probably for a couple months while all that was going on, because it had the game had some hype around it. So it was like I was seeing faster numbers than you should, growth wise, right? So then kind of get that going, right? Where I'm on this game, it's my main jammer. I'm playing this shit, and I hate my job every day, bro. I get my first apartment on this job. I moved to Colorado, away from California, which I had lived for like 25 years, right?
What job was you working? What kind of job?
So, it was Time Warner Cable. I was a call representative, right?
Oh, okay.
People call in if they want to buy a package, or if they are asking why their bill went up, or broken TV, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? So yeah, I hated it, dude. Absolutely couldn't stand the job. I'm just not a call tech kind of guy. You know what I mean? I don't like sitting there waiting for phone calls. My fucking day drags on, bro. It's crazy. I'm looking at the clock constantly. Yeah, dude. And there's days they're all different, right?
Yeah.
They will be days where you're 2-3 minutes between calls, 10 minutes between calls, and there's days where you're back to back, right?
Yeah.
It's like boom, take a call, you're on the next one. Take a call, you're on the next one. It's like fuck me, dude. Yeah, so I just ended up hating the job so much that one day I woke up and I was like, bro, I can't do this. You know what I mean? So I just did. You know, it's funny. It's not the professional thing to do. You're supposed to give in your 2 weeks notice, blah, 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 blah. But I didn't. I had a bad supervisor. I didn't like my supervisor, right? I didn't really like anything, right? So I just didn't go back. And they sent me my check in the mail. But yeah, that same day that I quit.
So you just woke up. You just woke up one morning. You just like
didn't go.
Said fuck it. I had enough.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm not going. I don't need this shit for my resume. Like, I have other shit that I can just go get a low tier job at somewhere else, right? Yeah. I had enough tier one bullshit experiences, right?
You go through so many of those jobs, you're like, hey, listen,
it's like, bro, I don't fucking need this one.
I got you.
So I just didn't go back. That same day, I went to Lowe's to try to get a job. Got an interview, right? I think it was, I don't know if it was the same day or the next day I got the interview, but got an interview, went to the interview, nailed it. They called me that day to leave me a message to let me know that I got the job, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to call them back, but I was streaming, okay? And I'm sitting there playing, and I'm kind of like jamming and just telling chat what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, yo, not going back to this place, but yo, got this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lined up. And this guy named Basilius was a watcher of the channel quite a bit. He was like a regular around there, and he donated. He was like kind of like a normal donator too, right?
Yeah.
Little bits here and there. He still comes to the channel to this day. Every once in a while, obviously not as much as he used to. He'll just chime in. He said with a message, how much money would it take for you to try full-time streaming?
Oof.
And I said, like, seriously, it would be about $2,000 because at that point, my rent for the apartment was about $560 a month, right? So I was like, give me enough for 3 months, right? 3.5 months to kind of try it. And then that's something I can maybe attempt at, right? And boom, next donation was $2,000.
Damn. Shout out Balisius, is it?
Basilius.
Basilius. Damn. That is crazy.
Yeah, wow. And it was like back in the days too, where you couldn't really trust every donation that came through because people were charging back.
Oh, the
like
charging
crazy.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, it was even more prevalent back then. You know what I mean? Than it is now. So I just trusted it for some dude. I guess I wasn't thinking about it enough. You know what I mean? I should have probably put more thought process into that. Like, fuck, dude, is this guy really for real? Is he giving me $2,000? You know what I mean? Like, is he going to charge me back? Right? Could have actually fucked me. Right? But ended up being completely legit guy. The money stayed true. And I told myself and told the chat that when I went full time, it was gonna be full time. Cause bro, I'd been working for years at that point, right? I was used to going to work every fucking day. Right?
Exactly.
So I knew I can play computer games for 8 hours a day, no fucking problem. You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck, I'll be here 8 hours a day, every fucking day. You know what I mean? That's what I did. And you know what? That's what got me the most viewership was the schedule. It was like, now that I was on this hype game and I was committing so much time to it, now all of a sudden people are starting to show up more. It's like, oh shit, dude, this viewer count's actually moving, right? Now I can actually go for the sub button, right? Going for the sub button back in those days was not the fucking same. You had to have 800. I want to say it was 800. My memory might be somewhat different on some of these things. So if there's some calling me out moments, it's okay. It's okay. I won't take offense to it. But I want to say it was about 800 concurrent viewers to go for a sub button back then. Because I'm thinking like it probably costs them money and stuff like that to throw you up on that and shit, whatever it may be, right? But yeah, I got it, I believe, on the first attempt, and then I got like 30 subs my first day and just kept on trucking, dude. Yeah.
Damn. That's a real come up story. That is a real come up story. So you took
luck out.
You took that chance. So you said you're gonna lock in the next 3 months. So, you're streaming every day. So now after the 3 months, you're in a position where you could keep going, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I wasn't even like thinking about that. I was thinking about, it's funny. I was really trying to get the stream to a point where I was making the same money as I did at Time Warner Cable, right? I was like, this is the amount of subs. If I get to that sub count, it would be crazy. I'd be making the same money as I did at such and such. So it would be like, so it was like it would be like the moment of you didn't fuck everything up like you thought you would have.
Yeah. So it's you versus you, basically. Like,
yeah. So every day we're just getting closer and closer, and eventually I got to that point where I was making like fucking I was making like at Time Warner Cable like $1,400 a month or something like that.
Yeah.
That was about all I made back in those days. I'd have jobs that would range from like $1,000 to like $1,200 a month. Time Warner Cable was like one of the better ones. So yeah, I started once I got there, I was like, holy shit, dude, this is crazy. Like this is really cool shit that is keeping up, right? And then eventually we get to a point where we're getting a little further, and it just one day, man, all of a sudden, like, what the fuck? I'm making money, doing this.
So you're like self-made, as they would say. Like, you're really self-made. You put in that work, and because I remember I told you I looked at your there's like your streaming, like how much the person streamed, and bro, I don't think you took a day off. In like I think it was me and Mateo, when we was counting, it was like 7 years you took one day off. Like, it was like every day. Like, I'm like, yeah, man. God damn.
Yeah, it's I like playing video games, dude. It's it's what makes the job so easy. Is that it's funny. People will say in the chat, bro, you're such a hard worker. Bro, you put in so much time. Bro, like you're like crazy work ethic, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm the laziest guy on the planet. You know what I'm saying? I just like to play video games. It just works that well that I want to spend my time doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But there still has to be, like, come on, man. Don't do yourself like that, because, like, again, you got to get up every day. You got to, people, after they get to a certain point, they start to like, nah, I could go do this. I could go this. You stayed, like, loyal to that regardless on, like, how big you became. You know what I mean? So that in itself, like, where do people find motivation after they get to a certain pinnacle, right?
Yeah, that's actually a question I get a lot, dude. How do you stay motivated? So I understand that. I do appreciate it, brother. And
how do you stay motivated? How do you stay motivated?
I think what's funny is I don't think it's even like a motivation thing. Like I said, this is kind of like when I walk into this room, I'm instantly comfortable, and I call it like my sign or a Taurus, whatever it is, right? I like being comfortable and I like routine, right?
Yeah.
So it all just kind of works together. You know what I'm saying? I like waking up and doing the same shit every day. I just so happen to like playing video games, and I just really enjoy like the space that that I've created here. Yeah. So it's like every day is just kind of like easy in that regard. I think the hardest time to be motivated, which is it's kind of lame, is just when I don't know what fucking video game to play. You know what I mean? Because then it's like, now there's a little bit of other feelings that come with being like a small streamer kind of, and then like realizing one day that you're a big streamer. The expectation levels are definitely different. I definitely can't stand, I didn't give a fuck back then, how much downtime there was between games, what was happening. Yeah, I even didn't care that I didn't have music playing, right? Now it's like I can't stand dead air. I can't stand like all the time frame between games. I feel like I'm like failing in those moments for the people that are watching to be entertained and stuff like that. Definitely comes with more pressures, you know what I'm saying, with all the time I think I've spent on the stream and shit like that. Well, mentally fucking me up, sort of in those moments,
So do you want to, how, like, I know how, but I want you to like explain to people, like, how did you get even into like the whole GTA scene, coming from the scene that you came from? Do you want to kind of start from there?
Yeah. We were running off this high on Sea of Thieves. And, but unfortunately I was burning and I wanted to do something a little bit different. And I had a mod and buddy in the channel named Blue, and he was trying to get me to play on a server called NoPixel. And one day I just took him up on it. It was like, all right, let's do it. I was like, as long as you hang out with me, because when you first get into GTA, in RP, it's like it's almost like real life social anxieties.
Yo,
it
is.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was scared to call people. Like I didn't want to call anybody. You know what I'm saying? But so I was like, I wanted him to be on Discord with me while I was learning the server. So it's like if someone said get in the trunk, I could be like, oh fuck, yo, how do I get in the trunk? You know what I mean? Shit like that. Because there's always commands you had to type in and shit. You know what I'm saying? You had to remember all these things to type. And his character's name was Bo, and we all know Bo, right? But yeah, Bo's a good dude, and he showed me the ropes on GTA, got me into GTA, got me connected to CG. Actually, he was my link to CG.
That is crazy. That is.
And he's the only reason I know the boys, who I spend lots of time with, appreciate their friendship, and. You included, motherfucker.
Appreciate you. No, I appreciate you. You're a real one. I'm just, first of all, rest in peace, Bo. And, man, this legendary link up couldn't have happened without him. And just like, what was your first day? When you linked up with the boys, who did you link up with? I'm assuming it was Garrett, Kay.
Yeah. Vinny, Rami.
Rami was there already. Okay.
Yeah. And so it's funny. It's funny. Coil.
Yeah, Coil. Yeah.
Okay. It's funny. I started on this character, right? So obviously. Cole's trying to show me a good time. Everyone's just trying to show me a good time, right? Yeah. So Cole brings me on his character Otto, which is a scary character.
Yeah. He plays that very well.
Yeah, he plays him very well. He brings me on this. I want to say it was like a cocaine run or something like that, or some sort of drug deal from like point A to point B. He wanted me to drive it. Don't get caught by the cops. Don't get cops on you. Be real nonchalant. I'm shitting my pants. Right? I'm scared that I'm going to fuck this up, right? He brings me to a deal with Dex. I don't know if you remember Dex.
Yeah, Dex Afro.
Yeah, GSF. Yeah. Okay. He brings me to a deal with Dex. I meet Dex. You know what I mean? He's great. He plays a couple characters that were great. He plays Jacob too, and Jacob was doing a lot of stuff. Yeah, he was doing a lot of stuff with us. We do this little deal, and at the end of this deal, Otto tells Charles, don't fucking tell anybody about this. You know what I mean? Or, we might have issues, basically. Tells me in like a gangster way that I'm worried about it. Okay? Yeah. So the next one, we can finish that up, right? And I'm hanging out with Bo. We meet up with CG, okay? And it's like, introduction to CG and stuff like that, right? And they're kind of like inviting me to be unofficially kind of like with them, right? And Vinny, who, it's so funny how I know Vinny today is like a goofball motherfucker, right? But in those days, or like in my first meet with him, they made Vinny out to be like the big boss, right? Yeah. Don't fuck with him type of big dude, right? And he tells me, since you're gonna be rolling with us, you can't have any like, you have to tell me everything that goes on with you. So, he's telling me that I have to tell him everything. And Otto's on the other end telling me that I better not say shit to anybody, right? So I have to already make my first, what I felt like was a big boy decision on Charles. Yeah. And I was pretty scared, but I opted to tell Vinny and the boys everything. I told them specifically that he told me not to tell them, right? It's like, please don't fuck me, So it's funny. I met them on the mansion that we used to have on North Rockford. I don't know if you remember that mansion, but it's like a little left turn off that you go in on North Rockford. It's just a little quick ramp into it. And we met in that mansion. There's even like I think it was like a portrait of a lady, and they considered it to be Rami's mom. And then there was like a thing of lotion in front of it. They would go in front of it and act like they were jerking it. It was pretty hilarious. It was pretty hilarious. I think it was known as Rami's mom. He'll have to remind me if not. But yeah, that's how I met the boys. And then I just was rolling with them at all. You know what's funny is it could have gone a different way too. I feel like there was definitely a world where I could have gotten involved with the Lean Boys. And I would have probably just stuck with whoever I rolled with first.
Yeah.
So I think there's a world where I would have been a lean boy, a clean boy, or whatever the fuck. I'm not saying that they would have like officially invited me or anything.
Yeah.
But I do know that who was it that was like just like me, came into the city and ended up joining them instead? Like, who was that?
Was it Lyric?
Was that Lyric? He was before me though, right? So I guess so. Yeah, he ended up going in and joining Lean Boys on Avon, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard. It was the Lean Boys had Lyric,
and then Lean Boys also picked up. So they swooped somebody from us. Who was it? What's his name again?
Mickey.
Mickey. His name's Mickey.
Yeah,
that's right. That was what I was thinking, but I wasn't 100%. Yeah, I saw him at TwitchCon actually.
Yeah, Blau,
Quick
right?
pass by. What's up?
Yeah.
Blastoise. That's right.
So, people say you were the pioneer of the, because you came in with such like a big viewership, you kind of exposed
how crazy the content was there in that category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel good about it. I like people thinking good things about me, obviously.
You changed a lot of lives.
yeah. I definitely. It was on the map, but we really put it on the map for sure. You know what I'm saying? It even turned a NoPixel into like a big powerhouse. You know, and it was pretty crazy. But the reason wasn't necessarily only me, right? It was because we were riding the high of Sea of Thieves, right?
Yeah.
At one point, I had like 75K viewers on like Sea of Thieves and shit.
75? Really?
Yeah, it was stupid popping, bro. Stupid popping. Like a normal day, when I start my day, it takes about 10 minutes to climb to like 2K viewers, right?
Yeah.
When I was playing Sea of Thieves, bro, I would start the stream when it was really popping. I'd start the stream, and within like fucking 3 or 4 minutes, bro, just 10K, just boom, there. Like, what? It was the wildest time of my life, for sure.
What was like going through your head? Like, how was you feeling? Like all of this, like now you're like,
I was just rolling, bro. I couldn't explain the confidence that I had on the game. Okay?
Yeah.
We were playing it. What caught everybody's eye is we played it in a different way. We weren't just on our ships shooting and sinking ships. We were on their fucking ship. You know what I mean? Hiding.
Oh, so you would like hijack their ships?
Oh, bro, we wouldn't hijack their ship. We would hide on ships, let them get the treasures that we wanted, and then we would jump them and take all their shit from them.
Damn.
Or what made me a little bit more popular than even the guys I was playing with that showed me that style, they showed me the style and we just ran with it, bro. I loved it so much. Playing sneaky pirate in a game that nobody knew that you can even fucking play a sneaky pirate in.
Damn.
You get what I'm saying? Imagine, bro, people don't even know you can do it. And you're out there on ships, tucked on ships. They don't even fucking have a clue, bro, that you're on it or that it can even be done.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, we were not only like doing Jack Sparrow type of shit, bro. We were like fucking powerhousing as well, because I was rolling with Pace, and Pace and his crew were really good.
Yeah.
So when they got me into it, they taught me how to be really good, which people didn't know how to be really good at that point either. So, bro, we were fucking shitting on every boat that came across us. We would literally never sink. Our whole days would go by, weeks, we wouldn't ever get sunk.
That is
crazy. It was
crazy.
a crazy time. And then on top of that, what people really liked, and what, like I was saying, like put me ahead, was that I would do it solo, where I wasn't just rolling with the team. Before I got with them, I would get up and I would do solo tucking, where I'm playing like fucking super sneaky and stealing people's shit without them even knowing I stole it. You know what I'm saying? So I was really taking it to like a fun level, I think, for everybody to watch. And it just really started to like gain traction in the Twitch world. I don't know how.
75K is crazy. Back then as well.
Yeah. It started taking a hit. It wasn't like it was like I was so bored of the game that I was playing. I even remember the conversation that I had with Smokey about like what game I should play or start next. And we came to the conclusion together that I should try Sea of Thieves. And that's where it all started. I started taking a hit from like it's like a nighttime game. I would play it, right? And I would take a hit from like, I don't know, 15, 18K viewers to down to like 10 to 12K. Okay. And then every day it would just go up a little bit, right? Oh, all of a sudden there'd be 12K. All of a sudden there'd be 15K. All of a sudden, like, what the fuck's going on? Why is there 20K people in my chat? I remember asking Shroud, who was in my chat one day, I was like, bro, did you raid me? And he was like, nah, bro, this shit's just sick.
Bro, did you raid me?
Yeah, I thought he rated me because my viewership was crazy, and he was in there. I was like, what happened? You know what I mean? And he's like, nah. He even said something in the chat back. He was like, nah, this shit's just sick. You know what I mean? Then it went to a point where it got to about, like I said, 75K viewers, 50 to like 70K viewers, bro.
Yeah.
Which was mind-numbingly crazy pressure, right? But my confidence was soaring because I couldn't lose for some reason in Sea of Thieves. I would just be making crazy plays. Me and the boys would be making crazy plays. It was just cinema every day, bro. It was nutty. And we took that viewership once I got burned to GTA, which is the whole reason we're talking about it. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I know. It's just like, you know, the transitions you've been doing has been crazy. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, you went from CS:GO and then Sea of Thieves and then brought that to GTA. So now you're bringing almost 80,000 people over.
Yeah, it was wild. We were even like getting 50K, I think, or something like that, 40 to 50K on GTA while we were playing it, because it was another thing, just like Sea of Thieves, that people didn't know about, and it was just like, what the fuck? This is crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cops and robbers, dude.
Yeah,
It was like playing Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, but the cops were real fucking people.
Oh my god, the cops were real. That's how it felt
crazy.
like when I got into it. It was like, oh man, this is like some cool niche shit. You know what I mean? It's still niche compared to like how big the world is, right?
Yeah, bro. It was in the Twitch world, but it was just not popping, right?
Yeah.
And then when I brought all the crazy viewers over, it was like just already people who had their content down. They were already fucking good ass content creators in GTA. Their characters are already all dope and shit because they'd already been doing it for a long time, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when the viewers came over, bro, the content was fucking sick. So then everybody just started spreading all sorts of different streamers, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it was wild. It was dope. It was a lot of fun.
So for you, you know, you play GTA, you know. From I met you, you played GTA here and there. Like, you'll come in for like a month. I think this is the longest time you've been on GTA since I've known you to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I get into it sometimes.
Is there a reason for that, or is it just like something like, oh, I get burnt, let me go to the next game? Like, how does it work with you?
I'm kind of like a hybrid between like a main game streamer and a variety streamer. I don't like switching games all the time like variety streamers do, but I don't like to sit myself under one game like a main game streamer does. So that kind of like correlates into, if I come across a really good game that I feel like I can come back around to, it'll get kind of tossed into my circle of games.
Gotcha.
Where I'll just come back around to them, right? And GTA is it's one of those games I really love, really enjoy, my friends that I play with while I'm playing it. So it's always a game that's in the circle of games that I come back around to. Counter-Strike, GTA, Sea of Thieves, are like some of the main jammers. I can probably think of some other ones.
Yeah, you've been playing Max Payne. You've been playing Max Payne. Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, I've been playing that for like kind of like another circle in the game, but less. I'll be way less active on that one since it's a single player game, and it's kind of lonely to play it because there's no way of friends to play with you. But you're essentially competing with yourself and/or people on like a record, right, for stream or for speed running. So yeah, I have like 330 hours on that game right now on a single player game. But it's kind of wild. But yeah, it's one of my favorite single player games, and I really like speedrunning it. It's a fun time.
So out of all the stuff you've like accomplished, because you've listen, we could be here for hours going on. Um, do you have anything more you want to accomplish, or have you? I don't know. This is a two-in-one question, so yeah, I would say
Okay.
yeah. So is there anything else you want to accomplish? Like, is there any goal you would like to accomplish in like the streaming world or?
I mean, I would always like to pop off as a streamer. There's a part of me that doesn't really want to do too much famous shit, limelight shit, microscope shit, right? Because that comes with a lot of other stuff. So I kind of like where I'm at, kind of like relevant, but not really, big dog anymore. But there's still a part of me that's so fucking competitive that I would still want to be a big dog. You know what I'm saying? So
You
yeah,
don't
there's
wait.
still
You don't think you're a big dog?
um.
That's
No,
crazy
like
for you to say. I ain't gonna lie.
I think, God, bro, look at there's levels of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Look at the real big dogs, right? The real big dogs are Kai, XQC. You know what I mean? These other guys are even coming up, like Agent. You know what I mean? It's fucking huge now. You know, all
Agent,
these
yeah,
guys that are,
Agent's under Kai, like their whole AMP.
yeah, they're
yeah.
AMP. Yeah. He's dope, dude. He's dope.
Agent's
Those guys
so
are all cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all super chill. While their success is incredible, obviously I would still like to compete with those guys to be considered a big dog, right? It's like kind of, but I do think like I put up what's funny is I get put on lists only because I stream a shitload. If I took a third or 2/3 of the streaming away that I've done, I wouldn't be on the list.
No, you can't say that. You know why?
No, 100%. It's a statistic fact.
Okay, okay, right? Oh, you're probably comparing it out of what, 5, maybe 10. I wouldn't even say
that's
10.
only English speakers. Only English speakers. Too.
But
I'm not even comparing it to other languages.
But I would say this, right? So, a lot of those guys do stream less, but they do YouTube content. So it's like, they're doing like the IRL stuff. If you was doing YouTube content, it would be the same. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? So I wouldn't
if
say
I was doing like real like content, not just games. Is that what you mean?
no, not even real content. They just, whatever they do on YouTube, where they're like, because Kai comes from YouTube, right? And then he transitioned into streaming.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, he would do like the YouTube videos, and they still do all of that stuff, and then they split half and half kind of.
I gotcha.
But when it comes to why I would argue with that as well, why like you are the big dog, because, and this is nothing for anybody else. It's just more of like you've been around the longest and the most. Like you've seen people come and go, right, in your career. You've seen people go, what, 2-3 years max? You've been the most consistent for how long your career has lasted. Like how many people's had this long career as you and the numbers you have? That's why.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
It's facts. It's not even glazing. This is just facts. Like, like, okay, until someone can do this shit for like 10 years, then I would be like, okay, maybe some has a point, but
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah. I will say that while I haven't been necessarily competitive in viewer numbers and stuff like that, I have remained somewhat of a relevancy on the website for a long ass time now, right? And I'm pretty happy about that. Don't get me wrong. I'm fucking super stoked that people still chime into the channel every fucking day, brother. Trust me. Yeah. I tell them every fucking day, like, thank God you guys came today.
So I wanted to ask you a question too. So the the deal and you don't have to answer this if you don't, but the deal like Ninja and Shroud got from Mixer, is that something that popped up in your lap as well, or?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that is something that popped up in my lap.
So what made you? Okay, you want to explain? Because I don't know how it went down. You obviously said no, but yeah.
Yeah, there was, I got an agency, right? And they go to bat for me everywhere. So, there was a weird period of time where people were getting contracts, money contracts, when Twitch was not offering them at the time, right? Or and they were kind of like poaching creators, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, Mixer was one of those ones that was throwing shitloads of money into not only the website, but we're throwing shitloads of the money into content creators to be the faces of their website, to kind of push the website, to bring more people to their website, to use it, to watch it, everything, right? So yeah, that was one of the deals that was on the table was Mixer. Obviously, I won't disclose how much money it was, but it was significant. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure it was. So sure.
And yeah, but I ultimately ended up just sticking with Twitch for one. You know that they were offering up contracts at that time as well, so they offered me up a contract that was of similar value, and I rolled with that. And yeah, that's not a thing nowadays, though.
Yeah, I didn't even know that until you said that. But I know well for you, is it more of like, because I feel like you have good foresight with shit. Was it more of just like a feeling, or was it just like
bro, if I had good foresight, I would have gone.
Really?
Right?
Whoa.
Because think about the guys who did go. Shroud goes, right?
Yeah.
Ninja goes. Mixer goes down.
They get
their contracts get paid out instantly. Well, they don't have to stay.
Do you feel like this is a controversial question, but like, do you feel like that hurt like Ninja's career though, in a sense? Because I feel like he hasn't been the same since, but that could have been because the game kind of fell off. But like, I feel like
I think sorry, tell me how you feel.
I feel like since he came to Mixer, even though he got the bag, but he hasn't been as big when he left. Like, he didn't come back, and I'm not sure about Shroud as much.
Could be a couple things, right? You could say that him going to Mixer really hurt his momentum, but you can also say that him kind of like doing the real life celebrity thing may have hurt him as well, because he was no longer like in the basement, like fucking grinding, right? Grinding, because those viewers are ultimately there when you're in the basement, you know what I'm saying? They're not there when you're going to television shows and stuff like that, right? I know that he was doing a lot of like traveling around doing stuff with people, you know what I'm saying? So maybe there's a world where he just puts his head down and grinds, where he's, he retains more of that. But like you said, it could have been the mixed thing either way, or as well. It's hard to say, because who the fuck knows what it really was. So
yeah.
I'm sure there was even more. There's probably more to it than
a lot
that
of different factors, right?
Yeah. So I'm not really sure, but I mean, bro, Ninja's making such a killing, and he gets to play video games every day.
Yeah, like it's not
incredibly well off.
It's nothing.
Yeah, but he's like me though. I'll say that. You can tell from the things that he says how competitive he is. You don't get to be an incredible Halo player like he was, how good you are at Fortnite, and like how good really he is at everything he touches, without being highly competitive.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a part of him that is a little bit like, he sees, like guys like Kai and XQC doing really big numbers and being kind of the new big dogs around, and probably thinks to himself like, man, I probably could have done that. You know what I'm saying? And it probably bugs him a little bit,
Interesting.
I don't doubt that he could have, to be honest. I don't doubt that he could have done it. I really think he was riding a great wave on Fortnite when he did the Drake thing and all that. What's your perspective? What do you think?
Yeah, I felt that like it was just more of a question, because I'm like, maybe if he didn't transition into Mixer, but it's like, maybe for him it's like, I got the bag, I got to chill and do whatever I want. I don't know what these people's goals are essentially, right? But I'm sure
money making.
yeah, but I'm sure like this, like you guys are so big that like I feel like maybe money's not a thing for you guys. It's more of just, like,
well, think about
status and like, like the numbers game at that point, right?
Yeah, without a doubt, it's a numbers game, but you have to think of it like a business too. It's so fluctuating, right? Especially when the contract stuff came out. It's like, say you're Ninja, right?
Yeah.
It's all stats, right? It's like, how much percentage wise did he take a hit for on his month to month, right? From the loss that he took viewership wise and stuff, right? That's kind of like the question. It's like, it's not necessarily like, oh shit, you're a fucking millionaire, what do you care? It's more like, you're running this business. You never want to see a business lose 50% of its value overnight. You know what I'm saying? You never want to see a business lose 75% of value ever, right? It's just, it doesn't matter how much money it's making. That's not like something you look at like, fuck, man, we're doing great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's right. That's very interesting perspective. So I guess that the concept of it never stops, it really never stops, right? Because when do you say like,
I mean, I still do sponsor streams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shroud still does sponsor streams. People are coming out with 24/7 channel streams to make more ad revenue while they're sleeping. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People are now going, and instead of having exclusive contracts, they're spreading themselves across the board. Oh, fuck this. I'll go Twitch, I'll go Twitter, and I'll go YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I'll stream on all platforms, and I'll get hits everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's people are still out there making money. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, I mean, I'm not gonna say nobody, but there's not like, I haven't seen like big dogs too often just be like, I don't need to make money anymore. I'm just gonna chill.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean?
But my thing is like, is there a point where you're like, do I transition into something else, or do I dial back, or am I comfortable where I'm at? Like, because then it becomes just like that whole snowball effect where it's like more. So there has to be something else driving that factor, right? Whether it's
you better like what you do, I guess.
whether you like it, yeah. So, or the status thing where it's like, I'm the big dog, I gotta remain
That's
the big dog.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
We got egos. Everybody's got an ego.
Everybody's got an ego,
and everybody's got a fucking ego. Like I hate to, maybe I shouldn't bring up the name, but let's say this.
No, don't if you don't.
When I was going head to head with like Lyric for like 1 and 2 for the site for a while, when I was riding such a high that I didn't want to accept that other people would surpass me, right? It was hard to accept at first. So when people started to surpass me, I didn't take it well, right? I was kind of like more annoyed about it and angry about it. Obviously nowadays I don't care as much, and I'm more like happy to see people. Obviously I wasn't unhappy to see people be successful, but obviously my competitive drive was like not seeing that as much when I was getting surpassed. So yeah, that's why I feel like I can understand where Ninja's coming from, because it happened to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not trying to hate on him for all like the Kai stuff, because I know that's not how Ninja really is feeling. You know what I mean? That's like his competitive side talking, you know? You feel me? Like, it's easier for me to accept other people are surpassing me nowadays because it's already done happened, and I've been through that shit.
And I appreciate even like you being vulnerable in that sense, because a lot of people are not in tune with their feelings to even identify that. It just becomes just anger, right? And you know, and like you said, it happens with everybody, and it's just how you deal with it and understand it. It's just your competitive side. It's not I don't want you know what I mean? But not a lot of people will get to a point where they could speak on it and like how you're speaking on it and just be very vulnerable with it. So I definitely appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
That's
crazy.
What's up. Man, I don't want to keep you too long. We're an hour deep, so I appreciate you. I just want to, you know, someone asked. So how many monitors have you broke in your life? Just a curious question. Have you punched?
You know, technically it wasn't even one up until recently. Okay. So that monitor I punched didn't actually break, and I continued using it till about 3 months ago or something like that.
Really?
3 or 4 months. 3 or 4 months ago, it just randomly died. So I thought I hit it with a long-term body shot or something like that, and it finally went down years later. But so it used to be. So now I'm on a 2 PC setup. So there's computers behind my monitor. I used to be on a single PC setup with my PC on the ground. So, and there was like space between the table and the wall. So when I cracked it, it flew over my computer and then hit the wall and just landed on the ground. And I said, I'm going offline. I went to bed that night and I woke up, picked it back up. It worked. Just rolled. So it's funny. People think I hit that thing with like my full force or something like that. I go to hit it, And I'm thinking in my brain, like, I'm just joking. I'm not actually gonna hit it. I'm gonna pull it back. But as I start to swing it, I'm just like, I just go. I just don't stop. It wasn't the plan, though.
It wasn't the plan,
Like,
guys. It wasn't the plan. It wasn't the plan.
I was gonna stop, but then I just didn't.
That is like the iconic, like, that shit went viral. That shit's everywhere. Like,
oh man, you know what's so funny? You know, Timmy uses it incredible. You know Timmy? It's Timmy.
Yeah, it's Timmy. Yeah,
He
Apex
will
guy,
do
right?
the Apex
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
He does. You know how like in Apex, when someone's down, you can walk up to them and do like a special kill move on them.
Yeah.
He had someone where like his character would punch, and right as he was punching, he would change the screen to me punching, and then pop, I would knock the guy out. It was hilarious. That's my first ever time hearing about Timmy.
hilarious.
Yeah, dude, it's good. It's good. But you know what's funny is I went to bed that night thinking everyone's gonna hate me when I wake up, because I was supposed to be like a guy who sets like a, you know, a higher standard, right?
Yeah.
Like I let myself like fucking be a jackass. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to be an adult, right? And so I'm thinking I'm gonna wake up and everybody's gonna be so pissed at me. Everyone's gonna be mad at me, dude. To my very surprise, everyone loved it.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
everyone was talking about how funny it was, and I was like, it was a big relief.
So
to be
what,
honest.
you do feel like you gotta be like the example, like you?
Of course you do. Of course you do. Whether you like it or not, dude. You know.
Yeah. Is that pressure for you, or is that just?
Nah, it's not really that bad. I mean, the only type of pressure that I feel from it is just like I'm not like a bad person, but I'm not a perfect person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not like sound because I bitch and complain about video games as a fucking complete grown adult. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm obviously not like really role model material, but I also understand that I'm not trying to fuck people up on my channel either. So there's certain things I don't want to talk about. There's certain things I won't talk about. You know, I try to think about the individual a lot. So that's why when people still to this day come through and say maybe they had a pet pass or a family member pass, I don't ever want to turn it into like a, you know, please don't drop your trauma on the channel and blah, 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 blah. I really want to try to feel for that person in their moment where they're behind their
100%.
computer, you know, maybe alone, you know what I'm saying? Just looking for something to get off their chest. So that's why to this day, I've always just been cool about it and try to, you know, see it from their side. So yeah, that's one of the things too.
I appreciate you. Thank you for coming
Thanks
on
for
the
the time.
pod. Thank you so much. Guys, if you like this, make sure you like and subscribe. I got it done for y'all. I got it done for the grace of God. And yeah,
I'm sorry it took so long.
I appreciate y'all, and we're out.